YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels is back, and we're talking college football today. College football playoff is set, but we got a while till that kicks off, so that's a bad thing. But all of us want a 16-team playoff, so I thought we would play pretend, and we would try to figure out what would happen. This is what the bracket would look like, but I'm gonna pick each game until we have a winner. See what would happen. You guys can play through the scenario yourselves. Use the comments section. So it should be a lot of fun. Thought this was very interesting. Even an 8 playoff would be much better, obviously, but the 16-team playoff would just be epic. Maybe if they're worried about cutting down the regular season, maybe cut down one. You could go conference or non-conference. Non-conference would make more sense, but it would be harder to rank teams then because you wouldn't know how good they really are. But the non-conference games are in the beginning of the season, so you don't really can't really tell anyways. Teams get so much better as the season goes on. But before we get into this bracket, please follow our Twitter, Frogs_Angels. There's a link in the description. We go over NFL playoffs and Super Bowl predictions each week. I update my predictions each and every week. We also talk during live games. That's NFL and college. A lot of the good bowl games I'll be talking on Twitter. And then something new, big announcements that we talked about recently. This Thursday, which is today actually, Jaguars, Titans, Thursday Night Football. We're going to be live during the game. We're going to be live during tonight's game, and we're going to try to be every single Thursday night, at least for you guys. So something new, going to be very interesting. A lot of improvements here at Frogs Angels, and thanks to all the support out there. So please come join us in our live stream. Turn those notifications on so We'll tweet it out as well, so follow our Twitter. But back to the bracket. What we're here for. It would be Alabama versus West Virginia in the first round. I like me some Will Grier. I like that West Virginia offense, but Bama would win this game pretty easily. They would win it pretty easily. So we'll advance the winners after I go through all these games here. Central Florida and Washington with Mackenzie Milton. I would probably be leaning towards Central Florida, but as we sit, I got to go Washington. Washington's been looking real good. Miles Gaskin looks real good. So I think Gaskin and the boys advances. They'll be getting ready for Alabama in this pretend scenario. Georgia versus Penn State. Don't think that'll be much of a game. Georgia would win that one very, very easily. Oklahoma and Washington State. I would love for this game to happen. Washington State's a very, very good team. They had to play Washington in a blizzard game to advance. The winner advanced to the Pac-12, and the winner was easily the best Pac-12 team. I think the running game from Washington was the difference in that snowball, the blizzard. I really think Washington State's the much better team still. It's hard to say after they just lost to him 2 weeks ago, but a lot went into that. I think Washington State's a heck of a team. Oklahoma's a heck of a team, but people forget Washington State can play defense, and they're known for their offense too. They can play defense. So for the matchup, and because I like Washington State that much this year, I would take the upset. I would take Washington State, number 13, over number 4 Oklahoma. And I'm using the college football playoff rankings too, by the way. Notre Dame and Kentucky. I don't really think I don't think that one's much of a battle. I don't think Kentucky scores enough points to win that game. Kentucky's defense plays pretty well, so maybe Notre Dame wouldn't score too much. I think I would take Notre Dame. I know I would take Notre Dame. Ohio State and LSU, another great one. Ohio State starting to heat up at the end of the season here, coming at number 6 in the college football playoff rankings at the end of the season. I think they should have been 5. Are they head-to-head better than Georgia? No, but they should have been ahead of Georgia, my opinion, even though that loss to Purdue was pretty bad. But hard to pick against Dwayne Haskins here, but I think the matchup favors LSU. LSU might be just a better team, too, because they play in the SEC. They're a very good football team. I think they can slow down Ohio State's offense just enough, and you can definitely score on OSU's defense this year. So I would take LSU, another upset, 11-6, but that would be a heck of a game. And what do you know? A bowl game. This is set for a bowl game, 7 versus 10, and it would be the first-round matchup in the playoff. Michigan versus Florida. If you watched, I picked all the bowl games. I have that video already on the channel, so please check it out if you haven't already. I picked Florida in this one. I like the SEC over the Big Ten matchup. I think Florida's better. Rashawn Gary sitting out. I think Shea Patterson could struggle in this game. If he plays a good game, they win. But I like Florida, so I guess somewhat of another upset, 10-7. And then Clemson would wipe the floor at Texas, no question. So it's a big win for Clemson there. So we'll move on. And I have the next matchup set here. Bama versus Washington, not even close. Alabama wins. Georgia versus Washington State, close. I think that's a close game. I like Washington State a lot. Georgia though is a top 4 team in terms of talent. I'm not trying to make a statement saying they belong in the top 4 in the real playoff. But in terms of their team, their skill level, talent level, Georgia probably is the 4th best team in college football. So I'd pick Georgia here in a squeaker. It would be a close one. Notre Dame and LSU, that would be a good game. That would be a very good game. I think similar defenses, very similar defenses, top-notch defenses. I think Notre Dame has a little more offense than LSU, so I would pick Notre Dame. Kind of wondering how the home-away thing would work. Would all these be neutral sites? Would all these be bowl games? I would actually think the first round would have to be the better seed would be home. To me, that makes sense. But then once you get to this round, maybe a neutral site, that makes sense to me. So I'd have Notre Dame over LSU in a very good game. And I'd have Clemson over Florida in somewhat of a good game. Clemson would take control of that game, I think, pretty early. So we're moving on to the next round. Alabama versus Georgia, the rematch, and Clemson versus Notre Dame. So it looks like for the most part, I think the committee got it right. Again, I'm not trying to make a statement here that Georgia should have been in. Maybe they are the 4th best team in the country, but I think they got it right. I really think they got it right. Oklahoma belonged at 4. I would rather have Ohio State in than Georgia because Georgia, again, the talent level's there, but they have 2 losses. They've proven that they can really outplay Alabama last year and this year and still lose to them. So, how many chances are they going to get? So Alabama would win this game. They would definitely win this game, I think. If they both played to their best of their ability, they both played their game, I think Alabama wins even easier. That's just my opinion. Clemson, Notre Dame, if you watch the bowl game thing, I picked Notre Dame in this matchup. I like the matchup favor for Notre Dame. I really like that defense. Not that I don't like Clemson's defense, but I like Notre Dame in that matchup. I think people are sleeping on a little bit. So it would be Bama, Notre Dame, who I actually have in my national championship prediction this year, and pretty simple. Got Alabama winning it. Alabama over Notre Dame. Maybe a little closer than people think. I think people would think it would be a blowout. Don't think it would be that bad, but pretty comfy lead there and win for Alabama. A lot of talent on both teams, even Clemson. A lot of first-round talent for this year on both teams. Between first, second round, a lot of it. So I can't wait to do more mock drafts. Can't wait for the draft season. We're going to have an updated mock draft hopefully next week. I'm waiting a little closer to the playoff. I want to do score predictions for the playoff games. Sometimes we get random crazy injuries leading up to our suspensions. I've seen it many times in the past. So I want to wait a little bit, but we'll get score predictions and then my final picks for the playoff. Thought this would be a fun thing to do. So thanks for watching, everyone. But subscriber goal, it's 10K subscribers. Big things happen at 10K, so please help us get there. And clicking the like button will be much appreciated as well. Don't forget we're live during the Jags and the Titans, and hopefully every Thursday night. Should be interesting, should be fun. Stay tuned for all that and plenty more NFL and college football and really all sports content on this channel. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.